There's a seed, one you've likely passed over in your kitchen, that contains some of the most powerful compounds nature has to offer for protecting your eyesight as you age. Not a supplement, not a synthetic, a real food that's been quietly studied in labs for its ability to shield the retina, preserve visual acuity, and even delay the kind of cellular decline that leads to macular degeneration, the leading cause of blindness in seniors. Seed, Chia. Now that might sound simple, maybe even too simple, but here's what the research shows. The retina, one of the most metabolically active tissues in your body, is especially vulnerable to oxidative stress. Light exposure, inflammation, poor circulation, and even blood sugar fluctuations. All of these wear away at the integrity of your visual system over time. And what's most surprising, the brain and the retina are essentially made of the same tissue. Your eye is literally an extension of your brain, and they decline together. In one study published in Food and Function, researchers found that the omega-3 content in chia seeds, particularly ALA, alpha-linolenic acid, supports retinal structure by strengthening the lipid membranes that protect photoreceptor cells. And even more compelling, the antioxidants in chia like quercetin and caffeic acid directly buffer oxidative damage in the macula, where your sharpest vision is generated. This is more than just eye health. When you protect your retina, you preserve one of your brain's primary inputs, vision. You're protecting your balance, your reaction time, your ability to read facial cues, and even your emotional regulation. The brain depends on visual feedback to construct its sense of reality. And when that feedback degrades, your confidence and independence often degrade with it. Your eyes are most sensitive and important part of the body. Before using any protocol or tool, please watch this video completely so you can better understand the factors. In this video, we'll break down 6 neuroscience-backed reasons chia seeds may be one of the most protective foods for aging eyes. And we'll go beyond the science to give you clear, practical protocols for how to use them, how much to eat, when to eat them, and what not to pair them with if you want to preserve your sight and sharpen your brain in the decades ahead. Most people think of the eyes and brain as separate systems, one for seeing, one for thinking. But neurologically speaking, your retina is brain tissue. During early development in the womb, the retina grows directly out of the embryonic brain. It remains throughout life an extension of your central nervous system. This matters, especially as we age, because the health of your retina is not just about vision. It's about cognition, memory, and even emotional well-being. The visual signals your brain receives shape your sense of space, movement, safety, and social connection. So when your retina begins to deteriorate, your brain doesn't just lose information, it loses one of its core tools for regulating attention and emotion. Here's what the research shows. Changes in visual function often precede and predict changes in brain function. A 2018 study in JAMA Ophthalmology found that older adults with early signs of macular degeneration or retinal thinning were significantly more likely to show cognitive decline over the following 5 years. And the reason isn't just correlation, it's physiological load. The retina is a metabolically hungry tissue. It uses more oxygen per gram than nearly any other part of the body, including the brain itself. That high demand makes it vulnerable to damage from oxidative stress, poor circulation, and metabolic dysfunction. And when the retina is compromised, the brain often follows due to reduced sensory input, altered neurochemical signaling, and even changes in neuroinflammation. Now here's where seeds come in, particularly chia seeds. Chia is dense with nutrients that help maintain the integrity of retinal neurons and support the lipid layers that protect against light-induced cellular stress. These aren't just nice-to-haves. They're essential for preventing the kind of slow, progressive damage that builds up over decades and leads to vision loss and cognitive fog. So what's happening in your brain when you eat something as small as a tablespoon of chia? Quite a lot. You're introducing alpha-linolenic acid, AAA, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid that becomes part of your neural cell membranes. You're providing fiber that helps regulate blood sugar, which reduces the glycation and microvascular damage that harms the retina. And you're delivering antioxidants that help modulate inflammation across the eye-brain axis. Imagine your retina like a camera lens. Over time, without cleaning and protection, it gets scratched, foggy, and less responsive. But with the right input, nutrient-dense, anti-inflammatory, and metabolically stabilizing, you keep that lens clear. And the clearer the input to your brain, the more accurate the brain's picture of the world becomes. That translates into faster reaction times, better balance, stronger emotional regulation, and, quite literally, sharper insight. Here's a practical takeaway. If you're over 60 and experiencing even mild changes in focus, depth perception, or light sensitivity, that's a neurological signal, not just a vision problem. Eating for your eyes is also eating for your brain, and chia seeds offer a compact, powerful tool in that effort. As we'll see next, it's not just their connection to the brain that makes chia so potent. It's also their remarkable fatty acid profile. In fact, if you've only heard of omega-3s from fish oil, you're missing a key piece of the puzzle, especially when it comes to protecting the retina from inflammation and degeneration. Let's explore that now. And if this insight is helping you rethink your approach to vision and brain health, consider subscribing. There's a lot more where this came from, and every week we dive into the science of optimizing your body and mind. When you think about omega-3 fatty acids and vision, fish oil probably comes to mind, and for good reason. DHA, a long-chain omega-3 found in cold water fish, plays a vital role in eye development and function. But what many people overlook, especially those following plant-based or senior-friendly diets, is another form of omega-3 that comes from plants, ALA, or alpha-linolenic acid. And one of the richest sources of ALA on the planet is the chia seed. Let's look at the science. ALA is the precursor to EPA and DHA, the omega-3s, that ultimately support inflammation regulation and membrane fluidity in the brain and retina. While it's true that ALA converts to DHA at a relatively low rate in humans, studies show that regular intake of ALA still contributes significantly to the pool of essential fatty acids in neural tissue. In fact, in a 2015 study published in Progress in Lipid Research, researchers found that ALA plays a direct role in reducing retinal oxidative stress and improving photoreceptor resilience, especially under conditions of age stress. What's happening in your retina as you age is a slow degradation of the membranes that protect photoreceptor cells. These cells are responsible for detecting light and translating it into electrical signals, the very first step in seeing. When their membranes become rigid, oxidized, or leaky, visual acuity suffers. ALA from chia seeds helps to counteract this process. Once absorbed, it becomes part of the phospholipid structure of those retinal membranes, keeping them flexible, hydrated, and able to buffer oxidative damage. This matters because the retina is bombarded by light every day. That constant exposure generates free radicals, molecules that can damage DNA, proteins, and cell membranes, unless they're neutralized by healthy fats and antioxidants. Here's a practical way to think about it. Omega-3 ALA is like oiling a stiff hinge. Without it, the photoreceptor membranes begin to seize up, not in a dramatic, sudden way, but gradually, subtly, day by day. Adding chia to your diet is like applying a slow, steady lubrication to keep those visual hinges moving freely. Now, how much do you need? Research suggests that 1 to 2 tablespoons of chia seeds per day provides a meaningful dose of ALA, around 3,000 to 5,000 milligrams. This supports not just vision, but also cognitive performance, joint health, and cardiovascular stability. And for seniors, that matters immensely. because aging isn't just about losing function, it's about preserving the cellular integrity that maintains independence and confidence. Well, here's how to apply it. Start your day with Chia. Mix 1 to 2 tablespoons into overnight oats, a smoothie, or a warm bowl of oatmeal. Let them soak. Chia becomes gelatinous when hydrated, which improves absorption and is gentler on digestion. Pair with a healthy fat like nuts, coconut milk, or avocado to enhance fat-soluble nutrient uptake. And a quick caution, avoid pairing Chia with high-sugar meals. The blood sugar spike can counteract some of the anti-inflammatory benefits. But for now, know this, integrating ALA into your daily routine isn't just about vision. It's about protecting a critical layer of your neural system that's often ignored until symptoms arise. Don't wait for the blur to begin. Start feeding your retina what it needs to function now and long into the future. And if you're finding these tools helpful, it really supports the channel when you like this video or share it with someone you care about. We're building a community rooted in science, compassion, and the belief that aging can be optimized, not feared. One of the biggest threats to your vision is light-induced oxidative stress. And chia seeds have a unique weapon against that as well, powerful antioxidants that buffer the retina from within. Let's get into it. Every time you open your eyes, your retina is flooded with light. Not just visible light, but also high-energy blue light, which carries a greater risk of oxidative damage. Over a lifetime, this continuous exposure can degrade the retina's delicate structures, especially the macula, the part responsible for sharp central vision. This process is known as photooxidative stress, and it's one of the most insidious drivers of age vision loss. What's happening at the cellular level is that photons of light, particularly from digital screens and sunlight, interact with oxygen in your eye tissue, creating unstable molecules called free radicals. These free radicals then damage lipids, proteins, and DNA within your photoreceptor cells. Now here's the key. The body has built-in defenses against this, mainly through antioxidant compounds that neutralize free radicals before they can cause damage. But as we age, the body's antioxidant capacity declines. That's where nutrition becomes essential. And this is where chia seeds quietly shine. Chia contains a range of polyphenols and flavonoids, plant compounds that act as antioxidants. Among the most studied are quercetin, chlorogenic acid, and caffeic acid. These compounds not only neutralize oxidative stress, but also reduce inflammation in the delicate blood vessels that nourish the retina. Let's break that down with a simple analogy. Imagine your retina is like a window pane exposed to harsh weather every day. Over time, debris and UV exposure wear it down. Antioxidants are like an invisible layer of protection you apply each morning. They don't stop the light from coming in, but they prevent that light from etching into the glass. A 2014 study in Nutrients showed that polyphenol-rich diets are associated with a significantly lower risk of age macular degeneration, AMD. While most people look to blueberries or green tea for their polyphenol fix, chia seeds offer a concentrated source that fits seamlessly into daily meals. There's another benefit. Chia's antioxidant compounds also cross the blood-retina barrier, meaning they don't just circulate in the body, they reach the very tissues that need them. And once there, they do two things especially well. Reduce lipid peroxidation. This is a process where fats in the retinal membranes go rancid due to oxidative stress, compromising cell function, and support glutathione production, the body's master antioxidant, which further protects against cellular aging and DNA damage. Here's a powerful way to apply this. Create a vision protective breakfast ritual. Start your day with chia soaked in green tea or almond milk, topped with berries and a handful of pumpkin seeds. You're getting ALA for the membranes, fiber for blood sugar control, and polyphenols to guard against light-induced damage, all in one bowl. Want to amplify the effect? Add turmeric or cinnamon, which have synergistic antioxidant properties. Even a small shake of ground flax can round out the omega-3 profile. And don't forget your environment. Reducing exposure to intense artificial light at night can reduce the oxidative burden on your eyes. Dim the lights after sunset, use night shift modes on your devices, and consider wearing blue light leaking glasses if you're using screens late into the evening. One last reflection, oxidative stress doesn't just steal your sight, it slowly chips away at your independence. Reading, driving, recognizing faces, even walking safely, all depend on visual clarity. Protecting your retina is protecting your freedom. And we'll explore a lesser known but equally powerful angle, how blood sugar regulation directly affects the retina, and how chia seeds provide a fiber-driven defense against one of the most damaging forces in aging eyes. One of the most underappreciated drivers of vision loss as we age isn't genetics, it's glucose. Elevated blood sugar damages the delicate microvascular system in the retina, which relies on tiny capillaries to nourish the photoreceptors and optic nerve. This damage occurs through a process called glycation, when sugar molecules bind to proteins and fats in your blood and form sticky compounds called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These AGEs accumulate in the retina and the lens, leading to stiffening of tissues, poor circulation, and oxidative stress. Over time, this contributes to conditions like diabetic retinopathy, macular degeneration, and even cataract. But here's the hopeful part. Glycation is largely preventable, and your diet is your frontline defense. One of the most powerful tools you can use, soluble fiber, the kind that's abundant in chia seeds. Chia seeds absorb up to 12 times their weight in water, forming a gel-like consistency when soaked. That gel slows the digestion and absorption of carbohydrates in the stomach and small intestine. The result? A gentler, slower rise in blood sugar after meals, which reduces glycation, protects blood vessels, and supports overall metabolic stability. In fact, a 2017 study in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that adding chia seeds to bread significantly lowered the post-meal glucose response in healthy adults. That means even if you're having carbohydrates, pairing them with chia changes how your body processes them favorably. Now, what's happening in the retina during a blood sugar spike is essentially a cascade. Elevated glucose increases pressure in the tiny vessels behind the eye, compromises the blood-retina barrier, and triggers inflammation. Over time, the retina begins to swell, leak, and lose its structural precision. That's when you start noticing blurring, floaters, difficulty adjusting to light, and eventually irreversible damage. But when you keep glucose steady, you protect these tiny essential blood vessels and reduce inflammatory signaling that harms visual acuity. And here's where chia shines. Just 2 tablespoons of chia provides around 10 grams of fiber, with the majority being soluble. It also provides plant sterols, which help reduce systemic inflammation and support vascular health. And it slows gastric emptying, which not only moderates glucose, but also enhances satiety, a key factor in healthy aging and weight regulation. Here's a protocol to apply this immediately. When eating carbohydrates, whether it's oatmeal, fruit, or even whole grain toast, always pair them with chia. Mix it in, sprinkle it on, or pre-soak it and eat it first. That one shift turns a potentially inflammatory meal into a metabolic ally. Even better, add a small amount of protein and fat to further stabilize your glucose. Think chia with almond butter or chia with Greek yogurt. These combinations nourish your retina and your brain and create hormonal balance that lasts for hours. Now, a word of caution, chia seeds are powerful, but don't consume them dry. When eaten without water, they can swell in your esophagus and cause discomfort. Always soak them in water, tea, or milk alternatives for at least 10 to 15 minutes before consuming. And if this protocol or insight has helped you reframe how you think about food and your vision, consider subscribing. This channel is here to support your journey one grounded in evidence, empowered by action, and deeply committed to helping you thrive no matter your age. Now we're going beyond fats and fiber. Chia is also rich in micronutrients like magnesium and zinc that directly support ocular circulation and help manage intraocular pressure. These trace nutrients are often overlooked but can make a profound difference in how your eyes age. So far, we've talked about the omega-3s, antioxidants, and fiber in chia, all powerful tools for protecting the retina. But there's another layer to this tiny seed's impact on eye health that often flies under the radar. It's micronutrient content. Micronutrients are the minerals and trace elements your body needs in small amounts, but their role in preserving vision, especially as we age, is enormous. And chia seeds offer a remarkably balanced profile of some of the most essential ones: magnesium, zinc, calcium, and potassium. Let's start with magnesium. Magnesium plays a critical role in maintaining healthy ocular blood flow. It helps relax the smooth muscle around blood vessels, promoting vasodilation, which allows more oxygen and nutrients to reach the retina. Inadequate blood flow is one of the earliest warning signs of retinal ischemia, a condition where the retina doesn't get enough oxygen, leading to slow, silent degeneration. Studies in the journal Experimental Eye Research show that individuals with higher magnesium levels have better retinal perfusion and lower risk of glaucoma. Glaucoma, by the way, is not just about pressure in the eye, it's about the death of retinal ganglion cells due to impaired nutrient delivery and chronic stress. Now enters zinc, another crucial mineral found in chia seeds. Zinc is highly concentrated in the eye, especially in the retinal pigment epithelium, a layer that protects and nourishes photoreceptor cells. It's involved in converting vitamin A into retinal, the light-sensitive form required for visual signaling. In fact, one of the most influential studies in eye health, the AREDS trial, Age-Related Eye Disease Study, found that zinc supplementation significantly slowed the progression of macular degeneration in seniors at risk. While the doses used in the study were supplemental, eating foods that consistently support baseline zinc levels gives your visual system a stronger foundation. Chia also contains small but bioavailable amounts of calcium and potassium, both of which play a role in maintaining intraocular pressure, IOP. Elevated IOP is one of the key risk factors for glaucoma and optic nerve damage. Calcium helps regulate the fluid dynamics within the eye, while potassium supports nerve function and electrical signaling. Here's a practical takeaway. Even if you're not taking eye-specific supplements, eating a food like chia gives your visual system the raw materials it needs to self-regulate, to maintain blood flow, pressure, and cellular signaling in a way that supports longevity. Now let's get tactical. Aim for 1 to 2 tablespoons of chia seeds per day to contribute to your micronutrient baseline. Combine with a vitamin C source like citrus or berries to enhance the absorption of zinc and magnesium. For glaucoma prevention, pair chia with magnesium-rich leafy greens like spinach and potassium-rich foods like bananas or avocados at least once daily. And remember, these aren't just mineral numbers on a nutrition label. They're molecules that regulate life in the eye. Vision loss in aging isn't typically caused by one major event. It's the result of decades of tiny deficiencies in blood flow, antioxidants, nerve support. The good news? Tiny additions can correct that trajectory. Just one small seed, repeated consistently, can restore nutrient levels that help your eyes function like they did decades earlier. And if you're someone who's had their eye pressure checked recently or noticed vision changes, dry eyes, pressure, halos, or fatigue while reading, these signals matter. Your body is whispering to you before it screams, and nutrition is one of the most direct ways to listen and respond. Let's bring everything together now: the omega-3s, the antioxidants, the fiber, and the micronutrients. into one simple, actionable daily practice. Because the research is clear, consistency matters more than intensity. One massive superfood smoothie once a week won't protect your eyes, but a modest, intentional, nutrient-dense breakfast every morning, that's how you change the trajectory of your vision and your cognitive health over time. So here's the science-based morning protocol to make Chia work for your eyes and brain. Step 1, soak your chia the night before chia seeds absorb water and expand into a gel. This gel formation not only improves digestibility, but also slows down carbohydrate absorption, stabilizing blood sugar. Protocol, mix 2 tablespoons of chia seeds with 1/2 cup of water or unsweetened almond milk in a small glass jar. Shake, refrigerate overnight. Step 2, add polyphenols and healthy fat in the morning. To supercharge the antioxidant effect, you want to include polyphenol-rich foods like berries, blueberries, blackberries, or raspberries. And to support absorption of fat-soluble vitamins and maximize ALA conversion, you want a healthy fat source. Protocol. In the morning, stir in 1/4 cup of berries, a teaspoon of almond butter, and optionally a sprinkle of cinnamon or turmeric for added anti-inflammatory benefit. Step 3, pair with a source of vitamin C or zinc. This amplifies the bioavailability of key micronutrients. Citrus slices, kiwi, or a small handful of pumpkin seeds work perfectly. Protocol, eat your chia bowl with a side of orange wedge kiwi or 10 to 15 pumpkin seeds to boost zinc and magnesium activity in the retina. Step 4, mind your light exposure after you eat. Get outside, even just for 10 minutes. Morning sunlight helps regulate your circadian rhythm, supports dopamine release, and may reduce intraocular pressure through better cortisol balance. Protocol, step into natural light within 30 minutes of waking. No sunglasses unless medically necessary. Let the full spectrum reach your eyes. Step 5, minimize sugar and screen use. During this window, the first 90 minutes after waking is when your eyes and brain are most sensitive to light, food, and inflammation. Flooding your system with sugar or scrolling through high-contrast screens can cancel out the benefits of your morning ritual. Protocol, avoid refined sugar and unnecessary screen time for at least 1 hour post-breakfast. Let your system stabilize. So what does all this look like in real life? It's not a radical new diet. It's not expensive supplements. It's a simple bowl of chia pudding, some berries, a handful of pumpkin seeds, a walk in the morning light, and the discipline to do it daily. Here's what happens in your body when you do. Your retina is supplied with antioxidants that neutralize light-induced stress. Your blood sugar stays steady, protecting the tiny capillaries behind your eye. Your brain gets the omega-3s it needs to keep membranes fluid and nerves firing properly. And your mitochondria, the energy engines in your eye cells, function better longer. You're not just eating a seed, you're feeding an entire neurovascular system designed to support not only how you see the world, but how confidently you move through it. Think of this like compound interest for your health. Every day you invest in this practice, you gain visual clarity, mental sharpness, and emotional resilience. And here's a bonus tip. If you don't like the texture of soaked chia, try blending it into a smoothie with spinach, frozen berries, flaxseed, and almond milk. You'll still get the gel-forming benefits, just in a smoother format. The real power is not in a single food, but in how you build your habits around it. Small daily acts that nourish your nervous system, lower inflammation, and restore what time tends to erode. Next, let's wrap up with a final reflection on why this matters, not just for your eyes, but for your independence, your brain, and your entire quality of life. If you've stayed with me this far, you already know this is not just a video about chia seeds. It's about agency. Aging is often portrayed as a slow decline, a story of loss, but the science tells a different story. We don't just lose capacity with age, We lose it when we stop giving the body what it needs to sustain itself. The retina, the brain, the circulatory system, they all respond to input, and the right input, even something as humble as a seed, can create long-term change. Let's briefly recap what we've uncovered. Your retina is brain tissue. Protecting your vision is protecting your cognition. Chia seeds are rich in ALA, a plant-based omega-3 that supports retinal membranes and reduces inflammation. Their antioxidants shield your macula from oxidative light damage, one of the core drivers of age vision loss. The fiber in chia helps stabilize blood sugar, which reduces glycation and protects the tiny blood vessels behind your eyes. Their micronutrients, magnesium, zinc, potassium, support ocular circulation and pressure regulation, reducing your risk of conditions like glaucoma. And finally, a morning protocol using chia seeds sets the stage for sharp vision, clear thinking, and steady energy throughout the day. This isn't abstract, it's highly practical. It's something you can begin tomorrow morning. No prescriptions, no overcomplicated systems, just an act of daily precision, rooted in neuroscience, sustained by habit, and amplified by consistency. The stakes are real. Loss of vision often leads to loss of independence. Slower walking, less social interaction, increased risk of depression, not because the eyes alone are the problem, but because vision is a gateway to the brain's understanding of safety, connection, and orientation. When your eyesight stays strong, you walk with more confidence, you read more, you drive longer, you feel more connected. And beneath it all, your brain stays sharper because its primary input signal remains clear. So here's the challenge I want to leave you with. Try the Chia protocol for 7 days, just 1 week. Commit to it each morning. Soak seeds, antioxidant pairing, light exposure. Track how your energy feels. Notice your visual clarity, your digestion, even your focus. These are not small things. They are signals that your biology is adapting, responding, and if you feel the shift, stay with it. Let it become a rhythm in your life, not a one-time intervention. These little rituals add up. They become the scaffolding that holds up long-term health, clarity, and vitality. If this video helped you, if it sparked a shift in how you view your eyes, your habits, and your potential, I invite you to be part of this community. Like this video, leave a comment sharing your experience or questions, and subscribe so we can continue learning and growing together. Every week, we unpack science-backed tools that help you optimize your mind, your body, and your daily life, all grounded